Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Coming for him. We have tremendous guests here. We have here a Chashav, a Rav, and a Magichir from Lakewood, Rafael Joselowski, sitting all the way in the back, Betzina, Shkoyach. He's been with us since Brachas. Also happens to be my cousin. Who else do we have? Rabbi Romy Weinberg, from Flatbush. You're at Kodesh in town. You're moving. Don't tell the world. Nobody heard. Wow. Who else do we have here? Shalom Aleichem. Hiding Azoy. Where are you from? Where? Shalom Aleichem. Yeah. How do you know? If he wants to, what do you got? It's to present now? All right. Oh no. This is if you want it that badly, that means it's. Here, come, show.
Okay, so I'm only a shliach. My nephew Mati Weinrib from Rossi put this together for Rebelli.
I have to open it up. Oh, this is dangerous.
Not another merch.
It's a sefer.
That's the letter.
Megillah Esther, MDY style. What's this? Ooh, wow. It even has different stuff from the daf. So I have to read the whole thing now?
No, this is...
it's good stuff?
It's the entire Megillah Esther.
With Amarit's publication, unbelievable. The whole thing. I don't know if you can see. Zoom in, Gary. You able to zoom? Shkoyach. And the front.
Pirushim that you sent over on Gila.
Pirushim that, oh my God. I have to read this? Let me read this. Okay. Remember when you mentioned several times during the first parak of Megillah that would make a sefer on Megillah with all the pshatim of the Gemara and give it out at the Siyum? Well, I thought that would be a nice idea. I didn't realize how much work it would actually take. My wife and kids didn't either realize what I was up to when I would come home from work and head straight to the computer for hours. This is unbelievable. All this? Wow. Where is he? Is he coming to the Siyum? What's gonna be? Okay, he's watching your shir on 0.5 speed. Well, because he had to jot down the notes. You should try listening to yourself on 0.5 or 0.25 speed. Baruch Hashem, I was finally able to complete and print this project just in time for Chodesh Adar. I owe a great deal of akar satayv to my wife and kids for being so patient with me while working on this project. It's crazy. Of course, this project would not have been made possible without my brother, Elimel's expertise and talent. He spent many hours editing, typesetting, and working on the beautiful. Who's that? Contact me for a shidduch resume. Last year, Eli Stefansky got ma'oid for all the work and everything you put into every daf, every single day. All you do for MDY family. Enjoy. The comments, feedback, questions, comments, and concerns. Email me at sfarim.amaritz@gmail.com. Oiv Simchis, Afreilchem Purim, Mati Weinrim, Motzi, New York. P.S. I was hoping to see you at the big Siyum in Eretz Yisrael, although not likely as I'm still working on getting 20 to sign up. Wow. There's another person that's coming. He signed up 20 people. I forgot somebody to tell me yesterday. It's unbelievable. A whole Megillah Esther. It's gewaldic. There's a lot of copies there. Gewaldic. Okay. Rabbi said yesterday there was a Siyum starting. Do you have some videos up there? Gary, you have some videos to show? So look at this place that they rented out in Miami. Unbelievable. Party is starting for the Siyum on Seder Moed and Chagigah. Here is a bike shop in Monsey, B3 Bikes. Dear Rebelli, today was our inaugural sign-up push for Yavamis. We signed up 3 so far. It was far easier than I thought it would be just to refuse to sell people new bikes or do their repairs until they signed up. In other words, he had 3 clients show up the entire day. Notice how the word giant in the photo lines are, Kol Tov, keep up the great work, Yaakov Lock and Jake Lebovic. Unbelievable. Look at this, Rabbi. It's a beautiful, beautiful design. B3 Bikes. Go there. Talking about the cake that the 14-year-old bought for his friend for the Siyum, here's Michael Ben Chetriet and Rabbi Esterson, the Bechor Magid Shir. Zoom in, Gary. You got to pay attention, shtickle. Here we go. At the merch, at the merch site right now. And I want to show you one more Yevama. This is a frummed out lady with mint green and pink gym shoes. If you notice, even in the art scroll, she's davening mincha, she walks, she has little tags, little post-it notes all around to show her exactly where Ashri starts and where Leinu begins. Tachnon, everything's in here. It's beautiful. It's dead on, especially the beautiful gym shoes. So we're gonna have to match her up. Maybe with Eli Stefansky Jr. That would be a good one. I don't know. Okay, we'll have to see. Oh, we have. Let me read this real quickly because Gadi Levi, Tomer's brother, he's Rabbi Gadi Levi, wrote this. It's a long one. Daf Yomi seemed to be exclusively for those who had an ironclad discipline. You usually could tell the Daf Yomi goers from a mile away. They never missed tefillah b'tzibur. They arrive every rain or shine exactly 3.5 minutes before shir starts. They're the ones who, when they make a commitment, they fulfill and never forget about it. The word is the covenant. They have healthy boundaries. They usually after speaking to them for 5 minutes, you feel like you're wasting your precious time. Most importantly, they lead with their minds, not their moods. They were the ones that never missed a daf. And then there's the rest of us. Who of us attended the GALA Siyum, got inspired, and made a major commitment, promised this time would be different, go strong, and sooner or later it would fall off. Usually it started, and with coming late one day, miss the beginning of a sugya, have no idea what's going on for the next 3 daf. And then the Magid sounds like he's giving over the most boring concepts if he's reading a ticker tape. And that doomed voice begins to whisper, you're not going to make it, you'll never have the discipline, you'll never make it. Why not start learning Iyun? And that depression kicks in. But then you, Rebelli, yes, so true. Came along and created a game changer shear. You not only created a shear where you could survive, but you invented an environment for us to thrive. Below our list of techniques, every teacher of students with ADHD should integrate. Reading emails at the beginning of a shear gives each one of us chashivas, including myself. I'm talking to me. We are somebody. It's not in the email. I stuck it in. Somebody part of the klal. Props are crucial to enable us to have something to look forward to and change our tired brains to new focus. Charts enable our brains to grasp concepts from a more visual perspective. Jokes enable our tired minds a little break so that we can refresh and then get back to the daf. Most importantly, the sense of inclusiveness by giving us a place to identify ownership for as if we were partners in the shir's ultimate stimulant to continue being invested in doing our best. Most importantly, by teaching us when we miss the daf, just to continue on where the shir is holding. There's some people in this room that missed 100 dapim. I spoke to them the other day. Just start from today. You totally took out an emotional component that would otherwise wipe us out. Who, by the way, was one of the who said you have to finish a Masechta in order to learn Torah? Question mark. One daf of Torah Hashem is Netzach Nitzachim and another is Netzach Nitzachim. Who said you have to complete every daf to learn Torah? In my opinion, there's no better way to be married Torah in this world than by taking out that emotional challenge of feeling down when one misses. Thank you for creating this environment for us ADHDers to thrive. With immense gratitude, Gadi Levi, Tomer's brother, the traveling Moyal, L'chaim Center, Deerfield, Illinois. He's a Makarev and a Moyal, and he'll be here by the Siyum, Be'ezer Hashem. And now to our sponsors. Oh, we have some. Rabbi, I came here tonight to daven for each and every one of you, for the MDY Chevra. But you know what? I was thinking to myself, why should I daven for you? You can daven for yourself. All you have to do is get on a plane and come to Eretz Yisrael. You have the beautiful Kaisel, the holiest place on earth. Daven for yourself. Couple shmalaras. There's no chisunim. You don't need any vaccinations or anything. Just get on a plane. We'll have an amazing Shabbos together. We'll have an amazing Siyum together. And then you go daven at the Kaisel and Kever Rachel and all the beautiful things. I'll see you there soon. Rabbi Sai, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Next video, you're not going to believe this. Over 600 people signed up to the Siyum. You know what that means? 1, 2, 3. Yivaldik. 600, you know what that means? But first of all, I want to give a tremendous hakaras to all 600 people that signed up because it really saves us a lot. The aggravation, the agimus nefesh that we have when people come to the door, you can't even fathom. We don't know how many people are going to come to the door, and we have to pay for all these extra meals that we shouldn't be. It's mum and hegdish. So the fact that people signed up is a tremendous.
Have you signed up yet for the Maseches Chagigah? It's Stico, 8 p.m. Wednesday, the 9th of March. Fabulous music, fabulous speaker, fabulous entertainment, and fabulous food. Be there, Stico, Wednesday, 9th of March, 8 p.m. It's geschmack to do the Daf.
You know what? You're right. That was Fischel's idea. You mentioned it. I wasn't going to mention it, but because you mentioned it's Min HaShamayim. Fischel said we should make a contest. Which kids could say it's Geschmack or Good morning, Rabbi say Good morning, Rabbi say and Fischel is going to give a very nice gift to the kid that wins this raffle. Okay, great. We said it. But sign up your friends. We only have a couple of days left to the brand new Masechta. Join dafyomi.com. It's a great Masechta. You're going to love it. A brand new Seder. The sponsor of the Kollel for this month is Mr. Anonymous, Lunishas Chai Bas Yosef. MDY wants to give a hearty mazel tov to Yehuda ben Moshe, Gary's son. His constant smile, that smile that has plastered on his face, should give nachas to himself, to his parents, and all of Klai Yisrael. He listens every single day on Kala Siyum, by the way, just in case you wanted to know. Maseches Chagigah is dedicated by the Kessler and Davis families. Refuah Shlomo for Miriam Esther bas Devora bekorov. Parents Achodesh as a zechus for Shlomo ben Lifsha and Rivka bas Gila should be zoche to Zera Shel Kayama bekorov. Parents Achodesh, the 19-year-old who donated $2,600 to say that Shauly Rosenfeld is sponsoring in memory of my dear friend Yehuda Augenbaum. Parents Achodesh by the Lock Lebovic families. We heard from them from the Lakewood B3 bike store. Lakewood as a zechus for our families. Parents Achodesh Jonathan Davydov in memory of Bechor Davydov ben penir, may the Shlomo have an aliyah. By Avi Ehrenreich. And everybody's thinking to themselves, wow, so many Parents Achodesh, $2,600, $2,600. What do they need so much money for? We are always in the red. Always. We just took on 2 more salaries. One is a very big salary. There's always need for money. Oh, you know what? Since we're not starting this year for another 10 minutes. Anyway, let me just say, Yishkoyach. Just this morning, the Spartam are stepping up to the plate. GALA Siyum, somebody donated this morning $10,000. Another Sparty donated $15,000 yesterday. And another Litvak donated $18,000 the other day. GALA Siyum. We need a couple of chasim to step it up. Yeah. Avi Ehrenreich. Zivug Hogum ben Mehera for Ephraim Hillel ben Dvara Esther. Friends from Stamford Hill. Lilu Nishmas. Yehuda ben Aryeh. Jeffrey Schenker. At the end of his Shiva, Yehuda, the Neshama should have an aliyah. Yehuda Gilbert, in honor of Moshe Braun, for Refuah shleima for his father Nisan Mordechai ben Miriam. Rabbi said, let's go. There's a beautiful video that came out for Yehuda Lebovic. That's his name? Lebovitz. Yehuda Lebovic, Zechor Levracha. Yehuda Lebovic, Zechor Levracha. And it's a push to get guys to sign up for MDY. So Be'ez Hashem, check it out. We are holding Daf Amud Beis. And we need a stall as much as we can, so anybody has questions, stuff, because we don't want to finish the parak. We're holding 18 lines from the bottom, next to Taisus Dibra Maskel Minapeach Adam. So if you go next to it, it says Kadi Yaim Kadi Shemen. In the Mishnah, it tells us, we had one Mishnah that tells us why Kachim is more Chomer than Truma, and now we have in the Mishnah things that Truma has more Chumra than Kachim. So if you have a barrel of wine, that's meduma, that it has in the barrel. Here's a barrel of wine. In the barrel of wine, you have a certain amount of truma. I just wrote 12%. Truma is 2%, another 9.8% or 10%. Meiser in the barrel. He didn't remove what he needed to remove, and the rest is chulin. So it's meduma. The rest is tevel. So the Amaretz is believed when it comes to Kachim. He's not believed when it comes to Truma. Says the Gemara. Kadi Yaim v'Kadi Shemen. Tana. Ein nemonim loya lakankanim v'loya lakantruma. We learned this yesterday. We'll just do a quick review. The Amaretz is not believed, not on the actual barrel and not on the Truma part. Says the Gemara, kankanim demai. What kind of kankan? What kind of barrel are we talking about? Ikankanim de kodesh. It originally had kachim inside of it. I mean, we believe the teichen. We believe the contents of it, it's kodesh, so why shouldn't we believe the actual barrel? Elo kankanim the truma, so you're going to tell me that it's a barrel of truma and he's not believed. Pshita, hashtat truma, you don't believe the food that's inside, the wine, you don't trust him that it's truma, so why would you trust a secondary thing to the wine, which is the barrel? Elo berekanim the kodesh, ubishar yomos hashana. We're talking about he's done with the kachim. He was believed on the kachim that it's tahar, and now he has an empty barrel all year round. Ubemeleyin the truma, ubishas hagitois, and we don't believe him when it comes to a full barrel of truma. Ubishas hagitois, ubemeleyin, the truma, ubishas hagitois. Not kadi yayim, kadi shemen hamedumois. We learned we have a kasha. If you have a barrel of wine or oil, that's meduma, so the amaris is believed on the barrel. My love, meduma is the truma. Dimua is a lashon of something you must do. You must take truma, and he didn't take truma. So now the barrel has a mixture, isser dika mixture. It has tevel, chulin, and truma mixed in together. And it says that the Amaris is believed. You just told me Amaris is not believed. So which one is it? No. He has a mixture of kachim inside him. Says the Gemara, but that doesn't fit into the wording of dimua. Something that I must separate. I must remove the truma and the meiser from my barrel. And I didn't. That's called a mixture. But kachim, I want to bring a couple of gallons of wine to the Beis Hamikdash because I decided to. So that makes my barrel mixed. I want to take it out, but it's not dimua. The lashon dimua means there's an isser going on here. There's a mixture or no good mixture. I decided I want to take kachim. That doesn't make it dimua. No. Because the lashon of dimua means I have a no good mixture here. It's no good. I decided I want to bring, on Monday, I'm going to take a trip to Yerushalayim, I'm going to bring carbon, and I want to bring wine also as the nesachim. So that makes this a no good mixture? You remove the truma, be a good mixture, and then you'll take your kachim. But just because I want to eventually take kachim doesn't make it dimua. You're right. What's going on here? Says this is how we learn pshat in the Mishnah. Originally, it's because of this Gemara. This barrel contains three things. It's called dimua because on the bottom, let's call it the bottom, just l'saber sa'izin. This 12%, 2% truma. This 2% truma, it creates dimua. This whole barrel is a bad mixture. Happens to be I also want to take kachim. However much percent, I wrote 10%. Stop. It could be 1%, it could be a half percent. And then, on top of that, we have whatever's left over, the 78% of chulin teva. So we have a nice mixture here. The dimua, the lashon of dimua, becomes a truma. The reason why he's believed and say that this is tar is because of the 10% of kachim. The 10% kachim saves the whole barrel. Why? Because you can't go to the Beis Hamikdash and say, oh, here, I'm bringing 10% of my barrel kachim, and that's tar. Happens to be that the 88%, the rest, the 90% that's left over, is tummy. It doesn't make any sense. Logically, to bring something onto the mizbeach where everything else in the barrel, no good, and your 10% is good. So in Mela, it saves the entire barrel, the barrel itself, the truma, and everything else in it. And that's why it's called dimua, only because it's dimua of truma and kachim. Kaidim legita is shivim yaim, the Amaretz is believed 70 days, Amar Abaya, Shmamina, Dinuhu, Dilovei Arisa, it's the sharecropper. In those days, they used to rent out their fields to people. They were sharecropping. Somebody worked the field the whole year and he had to share the produce with the owner of the field. So he must, lemitrach agulfe, he has to start packaging and putting away the barrel, shivim yom kamei matzarto, 7 days before the pressing. You see from here, since the Amaris is believed 7 days before the regal. So before the pressing, the gat. So that means it's part of the process, it's part of the production, and therefore, the Amaris is believed during those 70 days, so I could force my employee to do so 70 days before the pressing of the wine. Says the Elegant Mishnah, Thomas' brother, the Mayel, is dedicating this Mishnah, the official Mishnah Latzlacha of the Levi kids. Miriam Esther, Lipa, Yehuda, Gilad, Yeshua Michal, Shalom Elio, Bnei Yehuda's Bela. That should be good for all the Mishnahs we have in this daf, no? Tomer. Min amoidin bilifnim ne'monim al kli cheres. So it goes like this. In Yerushalayim, there's not a lot of kli cheres, earthenware. Let's look at earthenware as disposable products that we have today. Plasticware. Disposables. You have metal, you have glass, you have earthenware. If earthenware becomes tameh, there's nothing you can do with it. You have to smash it and destroy it. In addition to that, in Yerushalayim, there are no factories producing earthenware. You can't have a factory in Yerushalayim. You can't have smoke. It's too smoky. It's no good for the ketores. The whole thing. It's going to dirty the walls. No factories. So supply was in high demand. So we made an exception to the rule. We said you could buy earthenware from an Amaretz in a radius of 15 mil of Yerushalayim. It could be it's a radius. It could be it's only to Moedim. Usually when the Gemara says Moedim, it means the entire radius. Moedim is just a distance. But I saw in the Mishnayos, the Mefarshim Mishnayos say, one of them at least says, I think it was the Tais Yantav, says it's Dafka Moedim, this is where they used to produce it. Okay. It doesn't really matter for our sugya. Pretend it's a radius or it's just in this direction. But I could buy from an Amaretz that lives in Moedim, I could buy a barrel. I could buy Kli Cheres. Now, Rashi says a very interesting aside here, that it's a Zera she'ein atzibur yicholim lamoid. Chachamim don't make Zeras that people can't go with, and since it's very difficult to live without Kli Cheres, even we saw kings had Kli Cheres in that sugya over there, the king's daughter, she put the wine in the Kli Cheres and it ruined all the wine. People use Kli Cheres, and you're going to tell them in Yerushalayim you can't use Kli Cheres because there's no factory. People are not going to go for it, and they're going to do it, they're going to buy it. So they made it, they said, okay, we're going to be matir. So you see such a concept that they're not geyser gzeira shein atzibur yicholim lamoid. V'lefnim min amidim v'lefnim nemonim al kli cheres. And we're talking about kachim here, legabe kachim and not legabe truma. So here we have once again truma is more chamor than kachim. Min amidim v'lachot einim men. From this point, I just don't go by this map. This is Modi'in Elit here in Eretz Yisrael. It probably has no connection to what the Mishnah is talking about, but just, again, just give some sort of an idea. So pretend that this is Modi'in with a mem, it's Modi'in with a nun today. From this point on, ein nemanim. There's no nemanim. Keitzad. So what are the rules? Says the Mishnah HaKador, the one who makes the Kli Cheres, who moichar agderis, he sells the earthenware. Nichnas lefnim in hamidin. He has to go from the blue line into the red. Who HaKador? So three things have to happen here. He cannot give it to a messenger. He can't have salespeople. He himself must sell it. Vehein agderos. It's only his earthenware. He can't say, well, I'm selling 100 barrels of earthenware, let me take my friend's 50 and I'll sell 150. I'm already selling, I might as well sell it all. No. You could sell what you produce, v'zehu zeh. And it has to be you. So we have two rules here. V'hen aloikhin. Says Rashi, interesting, it doesn't really seem like it from the Lashon, but the loikeach, the chaver, the guy that's makbid on tum and tahara, he saw the Amaretz come in with the earthenware. He saw him. He saw it happening. Neman. Then only in these three conditions. Again, it has to be the guy producing it. It's only what he produced, and the guy buying it has to see everything happening. Then it's believed. Yotza, and in Neman, once he goes out of this circle, he's not believed. No, not produced. He has to see him arriving, coming in, and. Tana, Moedim. What about the blue circle? What's the halacha? Seems like from the Mishnah up until Moedim, but what about Moedim itself? In the city of factories of where they produce all this stuff. Says the Gemara, Pa'amim kilifrim, pa'amim kilachutz. So the Brisa says it depends. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like that. Keitzad, what does it depend on? Well, there's two situations. Kader yoitza v'chaver nichnas. If They bump into each other. They're coming in opposite directions. The kader is going from Medin in. The chaver is leaving over here. They're bumping into each other. So what if they're bumping into each other? So the chaver didn't have an opportunity to purchase. And in a minute, he's going to go in the opposite direction. He's going to miss him. So we allow him to purchase it in the blue circle. Then it's kilafnim. Then it's as if it's within the red line, inside the red line, even though he's in the blue line. If he had an opportunity to buy it before, they were both hanging out in the red line, so why don't you buy it then? What are you waiting for? Or, they're both in the blue circle, but they're heading towards Yerushalayim, so what's the rush? Buy it in the red circle. The only time I allow you to purchase it in the blue circle is if there's a problem or an emergency. I need to get my chat pa'ami and the prices are going up. I got a chaparayim real quick. You know, like people go to these Arab villages now because there's like no taxes on the chat pa'ami. Fine. Nobody we know, right?
I don't do it.
No, of course not. And we don't, whatever. The same people that fix their cars over there, whatever. There's a lot of people like that. They go in there. Once they're fixing the car, and I heard there's minyanim, and they kill Jews over there, but there's minyanim all the time. So, for all you Americans that come to Eretz Yisrael, and Way says to go through Abu al-Hinde, and it says a big red sign, you might die, do not follow Waze, even though it's Waze. It's not Kodesh Kadashim. It just happened to my wife last week. And I had to be on the phone with her for 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, a cop drove over to her and said, "What are you doing here? Let me escort you out." And he escorted her out. Yeah. So, no, because a lot of guys are coming from Chutz La'aretz. They might rent cars. There is a feature. There should be a feature. Rocky says they still send you through. Okay. Says the Gemara. Omer Abaya. Afanana mitanino. Hakadosh Moiches Agderois says Abaya. You know, Rabbi Isai will stop shir now for 2 minutes, so all you guys could change your settings on Waves, or you could just listen to shir as is. Fine. So says Abaya, you're right. You have a nice brisa that says it, but guess what? If you look deeply into our Mishnah, you could probably figure it out yourself from the Mishnah. You don't even need a brisa. Avananami tanina. Hakadosh Moiches Agderois. So it says in the Mishnah, if he's selling it and he came in from Midim, time of the Lefnim and Midim. It seems from the Mishnah, it's only inside, past Midim, but in Midim itself not. What do I do with the next part of the Mishnah? If he comes out of Midim, he goes like he comes out of the red line. It seems like Midim itself, yeah. If it's emergency, they're going to pass each other, yes. If they're both going the same direction, not. Tana. You're believed on smaller items, necessary items. What's the shear of small? Small means I can lift it up. But let's say I have a nice shalom pot or whatever, giant thing that's made out of cheres. No. Like these barrels. We had barrels made out of cheres. You can't, that's not considered, there's no nemanis on that. Why? The svara is l'chayr because regular people don't really need it. It's not that necessary. It's not part of the reason not to be geyser. Who uses it? The gizbarim. Fine. They'll figure it out. No, it could be even a large item. Only this kli that's completely empty. If it has liquid that's not kodesh, says Rashi, no. Even if it's full, he's believed. We once learned that bikarov is like a scarf. Over here, Rashi says that it's a mashka, but they want to say that Rashi didn't really mean it. Okay. The point is, there's some like the Amaretz, his scarf is inside, so you think that it's really tameh, or he has a mashka that's inside that you think it's tameh. He's believed. So here's that, I don't know what the word is, paradox or whatever the word is, but you have a situation where the liquid, the what? Not contradiction is too schwach. Oxymoron. Yeah, oxymoron is a good one. The liquid is tamei, but the actual kli is tar. That shouldn't bother you like it bothered Noam yesterday. Sharei login moli mashkin login tmeim to mashiva or mashkin tar. So go back to this picture. You have a 2-story house, and you have a dead guy over here who's holding a sign. Ani matama ba'ayil. He gives off. He radiates tumah, and his tumah spreads out in the entire first floor. It could actually go into the second floor if there's a hole in the ceiling, which there is, and be matama the whole second floor. But what the guy did was he put a kli cheres in the hole, and a kli cheres is only matama mitoichai from inside. And since he put the flat part facing the dead person, so he wants to prevent the tumah from going up. The problem is that he's Amaretz, and it doesn't really protect 100%. So what it does protect, we say like this. The actual flask, I changed it because the original picture was glass. Going back, it's wood. Inside this wood, right over here, there's water. There's a metal bowl, and inside the bowl, she's kneading dough. So we said the dough is tamei, the bowl is tar. The water is tar, the barrel is tamei. Oxymoron. How's it possible? That's when it comes to Xeris, the Rabbanon, these kind of things, guys are on this, not on that. They can do whatever they want. It's not 100% with logic. It goes with the Xera, and therefore don't ask questions. This Mishnah is sponsored by Tomer Levy's brother, the zechus, all his children. We're just going to give him a bunch of Mishnayos for the price of one, because I'm not going to go through all the names now. Says the Mishnah, you have tax collectors that are coming to get their percentage of animals, their percentage of your cash. They come barging into your house. They're sent there by the non-Jewish authorities. Now these tax guys are Jewish, Amaratzim, sent by the non-Jew. So what happens? They come through your house. They barge through your house. Imagine, unfortunately, it happens to a bunch of people. You come home one time and you see all your drawers open, all your clothes on the floor. You know what happened. You know that when you're out, they hit your house. It's a terrible feeling of violated. You feel violated. What did this Ganav do? What did he do? Besides taking all my cash and my wife's jewelry, did he also touch my barrels of wine? He's a Ganav. What kind of Talmud Chacham is he? He doesn't know he doesn't know right to his left. And if he touched my barrel, he made all my wine tamei. But he's a nice guy. He's a Ganav that was Machzer Kli. There's a Maisa in Kiryat Sefer. A guy was called right before Shabbos, a snake catcher. They have that here in Eretz Yisrael. Called right before Shabbos, there's a snake in my apartment. So the guy goes out a few minutes before Shabbos, runs, traps the snake. And he takes the snake, puts it in his car. Now, but it's Erev Shabbos. So left it in his car. Friday night, knock on the door. Cops. So there's an Arab in the hospital dying from a snake bite. And we're trying to figure out what snake bit him. He had your car. And while he's driving away from Kiryat Sefer, the snake gave him a shtickle bite. So the guy says, I'm not telling you what it is. They said, no, you have to. It's illegal. Okay, so he told him. But Lamaisi got his car back. Rafael Yaselevsky is here. I'll tell you the story with his father. He might not even know the story. I said it a few months ago. But he listens to the shir, so he knows the Maisa. His father, I was once at his house, and his father told me that they broke into his car. What happened was, I ruined the story. It was Erev Shabbos. I said the story. It was Erev Shabbos, and he noticed that he left the light on in his car. So he's looking at his watch, and he's like, it's almost Shabbos. It's not Shabbos. What should I do? You know what? I'll be machmer. I'm not going to turn the light off. The battery's going to go. It's going to go. I remember that car. What a hunk of junk. It was a 1960-something car. I'm not joking. White, ugly car. So he comes Motzei Shabbos to see how bad the battery is. and he tries to start the car. And he realizes they try to break into his car. They broke the ignition, and they try to put the things together and drive away with the car. There's no battery. So he also got his car back. A ganav returned the kli, did tshuva. By the way, once we're here, and we only have 6 minutes to do this whole Amud, I got to tell you, no, seriously. One of the most inspiring things from Menachem Seltzer's book, incredible, right? Incredible, what is it? Incredible, the second one, Rabbi Wallace. One of the most incredible things there is that Rabbi Wallace did tshuva. He made a list himself of all the people that he stole from. It was a very, very long list, and it took him many, many years to pay back, but he paid back every single person on the list. One of the stories was that he was driving by and he saw some nice bricks on the road. This guy was doing construction. He took them. He had to go back, find the house that he stole from, and the guy didn't live there anymore. He had to go to the city, look up the records, who lived there in the 70s or whatever it was. He found the guy, went to him, and the guy says, you realize what you did to me? You stole 10 bricks, but I had to buy 1,000 bricks because it ruined the whole thing. I had to get a whole nother load. The Kitzer, he stole oranges didn't he eat oranges from a pardes? And he had to go pay the guy. The guy says, you guys, Kitzer, bizyon, but he paid it back. And we all can learn a lesson from that. It's not only about, a lot of us take stuff when we're younger and not younger, in business, not business. It's never too late. You could always pay it back. It's a beautiful thing here in the Mishnah. The Ganovim decided to do tshuva. They're believed that we didn't touch anything. Yes, we were in your house. We didn't take anything. Yerushalayim Amoretz is believed for Kodesh and not for Truma. Ubishas HaRegel, but during Yontif, Afal Truma is believed on Truma. Says the Gemara. Virimini. Here it says Mefurish that people that are coming to collect stuff, Habayis Kuli Tameh, you don't trust them that they didn't touch. They touched everything. They're going through all the drawers to see what you're hiding, where you're hiding the cash. Like Kasha. This price over here that we're saying, if there's a guy with a stick making sure the Jew does his job, the Jew's going to do his job. He's going to open up all the drawers and everything. He's going to touch all the barrels, and then all the barrels become tameh. But there's no guy, so the Jew's not going to go everywhere. So here we're talking about a concept of a peshasar pesheter. If nobody knows that he went into the house at all, so he could say, I went in, so I didn't go in because you didn't even see. But they're not believed to say, we went in and we didn't touch anything. So what if the non-Jew is there? He has a fear of the guy standing next to him. So Meli touched everything. He's not scared of this guy. He's just scared that he's going to snitch on him and say, you're treating the Jews differently, you're not going through all their stuff, and the king is going to put him in jail. If he's not scared of the non-Jew, the only thing he might be scared of is the authorities, that he might report him to the king. But this guy not. So if you hold that the problem is the guy with him, then we don't think that he touched everything. Says the Gemara, it's only where they went. So if where the Ganav walked, everything is tameh, so certainly the kli that he's holding is tameh. So how can he say it's tar? You're talking about a Baal Tshuva. He wants to do the right thing. So he's not going to lie now and say that the kli is tar when it's tameh. Shma mino. He's believed on the very large kelim. Why in Yerushalayim do we give them this heter to buy giant kelim? Sheinois and give sheinois in Yerushalayim. You can't make smokestacks in Yerushalayim. You can't have a factory for kli cheres. Ubishas haregel afalat truma menani mili Amir Yeshua ben Levi do Amar Kra vayi Osef Kolish Yisrael Eloir ki ish echad chaverim. Rabbi Sai, as Tomer is leaving, thinking about, he's not leaving, he's just watching his hand. The Siyum. I thought this pasuk is so appropriate. I know it's taken out of context, but if you read the words, maybe in a little bit of a drush, Vayasef Kolish Yisrael Eloir, all of Klal Yisrael is coming to Bet Shemesh. Ki ish echad, like one person, chaverim, all chaverim. When Klal Yisrael comes together, when we get together, we're all chaverim. We're all considered people that keep tumas and tyrus. Even the Amaritzim who come to Yerushalayim, we treat them with respect. And we don't say, oh, you're tameh. HaKasav Hasan, kulam chaverim. Now, fine, we'll see Rashi in a second. Says the Mishnah, Hapoisech es chavisoi. Now, in order to understand the Mishnah, let's jump to the next Mishnah. Mishavar Regel. I'm just going to learn a few words of the Mishnah to understand the concept. Once Yontif goes by, Ma'avirin al Taras Azar. You have to purify the entire Azar, all the Kalim. What's going on here? So there's an amazing Rashi that explains it perfectly. Rashi, the first wide line, Lo Yigmar Achar Regel. Avapi, fine. We jumped to Rashi, let's do Rashi. Avapi should be Regel im Tar. The halacha is that Amaretz during Yontif, he's tar, but he's not really tar. He's 100% tameh. Just we're not going to consider him tameh. We're going to consider him tar. You hear what happens? On Yontif, Amaretz touches this. He's tameh. You can't take away his tumah. He's tameh. We don't care. We're going to treat it as if it's tar. Once Yontif leaves, it becomes tameh because 5 days ago Amaretz, who's tameh, touched it. The whole heter is during Yontif only. That only is during Regel, not what we learned that he's believed during the Gat and all that stuff. So says the Mishnah. Happy is chavisoyum v'amatre bisosoy al gava Regel. A chaver, you have a guy that's makpid on Tum and Tahira. He's selling stuff, and he didn't finish selling, or he's selling dough. So what if a bunch of Amaratim touched it over Yontif? Let him finish it off. What's the svar? Why could he finish it off? It just became tameh. Because if you don't allow him to finish it off, then he won't sell it at all. There's a tiru. Remember that svara? We allow him to open up the barrel now. We allow him to continue selling after Yontif, even though it's tameh, so that we don't have a problem with resources. People should be able to sell freely and not worry about what's going to happen after Yontif. At the end of the day, right now it's tameh, you can't sell it. Yosef Rabbi Ami Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, Akila the Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha. They were sitting on the porch. According to Chacham in the Mishnah, let's say that if a chaver starts selling wine and he's left over with half a barrel, he's stuck with it, he can't sell it. Now there's a very, very important Rashi. There's an isser for a chaver to sell something that's tameh. But he's asked the question, what happens if he just packs it up, puts it on the shelf, and sells it next year? I hope he's just talking about the wine, not so much the dough. What do you mean? All the Maratzim touched it, but the Amr saying it's 100% tameh. What do you mean? They were touching it the whole Yontif when we were selling it. So it goes like this, Rabbi Yisrael, it goes like this. Very, very good. Everybody agrees. If Amaretz touches something before Yontif, and then Yontif comes, could I use it? The Amaretz touched it before Yontif. Could I use it? What do you guys say? No. Why? It's Yontif. You're allowed to use stuff from the Amaretz and Yontif. Because you're 100% right. If it's tameh before Yontif, I can't use it on Yontif. It's only what happens on Yontif, I'm going to make a heter. So says the Gemara, the Amaretz touched it, and now right after Yontif became tameh. So now I have something that's tameh before next year's Yontif. And now next Yontif comes along, it was already tameh. I can't make it tar on Yontif. It's like it's not, or no. Maybe it was tar on Yontif, stop, pack it up, put it in a shelf, and I'm going to pretend that it was tar. There was nothing in between, maybe it was frozen, maybe. Says the Gemara, Name Ketanoi. The Tani Chado Yanechenu Regelacher. The Tani Yidoch Yanechenu Regelacher. My lav Tanoi. Maybe that's in Machlokes in Chachamim. Loi Hadiktani Yanicheno, Rabbi Yehuda, that's our Mishnah. That's Rabbi Yehuda that says that you're allowed to sell it after Yontif. Hadiktani Lo Yanicheno Rabbanon. And the other Shita is not a machlokes, it's from our Mishnah. V'tizbar Rabbi Yehuda Yigmar Kamar. Rabbi Yehuda doesn't say you have to wait until next Yontif. We're talking about, could you sell it on next Yontif? Nobody says that you could sell it in between the two Yom Tovim. You could sell it on this Yontif and wait. But Rabbi Yehuda says you can wait and sell it any day. The day after Yontif, you can continue selling it. Can't fit into Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda. Not Yanicheno is Rabbi Yehuda. Lo Yanicheno is Rabbi Yehuda. What does that mean? That Rabbi Yehuda is saying, as the Gemara is going to explain in a second, Rabbi Yehuda holds, I don't have to wait until next Yontif. Lo Yanicheno, sell it right now. It doesn't mean you got to throw it out. It means sell it and don't wait until next Yontif. What did Rabbanan say? You are allowed to sell it. What comes out? It comes out a completely opposite thing. That everybody holds you're allowed to sell it after Yontif. Yanicheno means sell it now. And lo Yanicheno means, Yanicheno means leave it until next Yontif and sell it the next Yontif, but you could sell it. And lo Yanicheno means, Rabbi Yehuda says, lo Yanicheno, don't wait until next Yontif, sell it right now. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to sign up your friends.